Here's a kicker. Here's one of the main hiccups. It's about belief and the power of belief and ignorance. If you have, and most people have lived their life, gotten yourself to believe a certain thing, to really believe something, pick anything, any topic, doesn't even matter. You really believe it, like with the same fervitude as, say, you believe you're human standing up walking to the store when you're walking to the store, or that you can breathe, or you can move your hand. With that amount of belief, you really believe it, then that means that your existence is already pumping out more existence for you to fortify that belief. More things just to say, hey, yeah, see, I told you so. See, it happened right there, and it fortifies it. So you're already deep in that. And if you get to that point without knowing the power of beliefs, and most people, if not everyone, does, it's hard to backtrack from that. Because someone will come in and say, well, you create your own reality. And you're going to be like, no, no, no. My life, if I see it every day. I fucking believe you cannot get someone out of that. It's very hard to. It'll take years because the reality has to slowly chip away at this belief. But if they don't even know about this stuff, then they're not gonna. It's not gonna happen. They're just gonna run their cycle out, however that plays out. That's the fun of being the real life human. It's like dropping that Klinko or Plinko coin down the little boom, like in The Price is Right. You never know where it's gonna go. You know what I mean? Or maybe they set it up so they do. I have no idea. But if it was a legit one, and that's the fun of being the real human. But anyway, so to get that belief changed, that's the problem, because the belief is what holds all the power. And if you don't believe something, your reality, the reality doesn't care. It's going to show you what you believe. It's going to find a way to reinforce what you truly believe, even if you don't know what you truly believe. Like it's some kind of underlying thing you don't ever think about. The reality that's coming to you shows you in your face every day what you truly believe. So if you believe that, magic doesn't exist, and that the world is just we're just humans here floating on this rock just by chance, and science is pretty much the end all of what is the thing, and in politics, and the dense human world, you're a real life human, and you just know that to be true. So much so you don't even think about it. That's hard to change, because that means your reality has been pumping you that for a long time, and it's going to continue to pump you that to reassure that. And without having the knowledge or the belief that your beliefs hold that power, you're never going to change that. And even if you come along and there's something about you've happened to hear something or go through something or take some drugs, that's a kicker, or to let you know that maybe reality might be a little different, then you have a little foothold. Maybe you ask a question. For me, it was, how come like Jimi Hendrix and Jim Morrison and certain people just had a certain something about them? They may not have, now they were talented, but it could be a person that's not even that talented in the regular sense, but there'd be something about them. And I wanted to know what that was. People call it X Factor, charisma. They just throw a label on it, and then, oh, he just has the juice. So that way they don't ever have to figure out what that really is. I didn't go that route. I was like, no, I wonder what that is. And then the universe slowly uh, danced around and showed me, you know. But I really just want to talk about that belief thing. About once you believe something, since the nature of the universe, the way it is a conveyor belt of just reinforcing whatever beliefs you already believe. So it's hard for someone to come around and get you out of that. You have to have the wherewithal, or already have the type of personality to at least be slightly open-minded. But it's hard for me. It took years and years and years. How did it happen with me? Oh man, I lived from about being born all the way to like 22 is when I started drinking. That has nothing to do with this stuff, because at 22 I was still, I didn't believe in any of this stuff. And remember, beliefs are key. I didn't really know what I believe. That was my saving grace, because I didn't lock down too far on any certain funnel or runnel or rut or a belief system that keeps. I didn't go too far down anything. My parents didn't lock in religion on me, so I kind of was free to just have my own thoughts about that. And I don't know. I've always been just the kind of person to just kind of go off the flow, so I didn't. I was a pretty blank slate, luckily. Anyway, 22, started drinking, getting crazy, all the way up till like 37 or something. Not craziness. Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Right around between 27 and 29, I cannot remember when. God, I was getting into music. Man, between 26, maybe I picked up a guitar at 26, 27. Wanted to do something with my life. Was also smoking a lot of weed, thanks to friends. I mean, literally thanks. Doing other shit too, no thanks. And that led me to trying to figure out, or trying to make money with guitar, which then led me to wanting to get good. Well, then I got the idea to get good, which a lot of people do. You had to take drugs, and actually, I mean, it may not work for everybody, but it was my path. Let me tell you. So I did that and got into the question, got into my head, what do they have? Maybe I was in one of my drug-filled high on weed, alcohol, the thing that got banned called Spice, and I was fucking chugging cough syrup. I found the good ones that don't make your stomach hurt, but you can only do that like once, and you gotta wait like a month or two to do it again, or it doesn't. Well, anyway, I could be on any one of those things, just practicing guitar like a fucking demon, and looking at old Hendrix documentaries, just high as shit. What do they have? They have something. So this is how the question started, and then ever since then, till now, the universe has showed me this is what they have. This is what they were doing in their own way, which is they were connected through their own intelligence, through their own energy, straight to source, either drugs or life experience or all together, and they were connected straight to the source, and which is a lot of their appeal that people they don't understand that X factor. And there's a lot of different ways to be connected to the source. You don't have to load up on drugs and blah 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 blah. You'll find your own path, whatever your way is. Anyway, that's what led to the question. So around 27 or so, 28, in my own apartment, just fucking. Those were the days. Actually, I just like having my own apartment. Although this is kind of almost the same size. Anyway, so the question led to life experience, slowly showing me. I started getting into quantum physics and Richard Feynman. I jumped into this is slowly getting into, notice I'm saying on the scientific end of it, because that was very logical of it. I wasn't going to listen to Bashar or Abraham Hicks, or I think it went to Alan Watts next. He was a perfect transition, because he was an old white guy, so I guess he seemed scientific to me, but he was, he was out there. So he led me into that, and it slowly. We're listening to videos every day, smoking weed, playing guitar, getting drunk, playing guitar, going out and trying to do open mics way before I was ready, just high and drunk and shit, coming home and trying to figure out the secrets of the universe, playing guitar, practicing guitar, high as shit. Man, I'd be high. That Spice stuff, I don't condone it. I don't condone drugs, but just the way my life went, so I'm saying it. I'd be high on that Spice. I can see why they banned it. It wasn't the same shit every time, but sometimes I get so high, man. I would play for like 15 hours straight. At least this is what I thought. Who knows? Could have been an hour. I was just so. Anyway, glad I don't do any of that stuff anymore, except for weed. Weed stuck, and that's gonna stick. Weed, water, and honey. Anyway. Damn, what was that? So the mess with my beliefs changed, and it started showing me when I asked a question about the factor that they had, and I was trying to figure out what I was doing in my life to make money with guitar, and trying to rush it really fast. So taking these drugs, practicing so much, going out of my mind, thinking I was crazy, settling down. And I think I had a relationship with my last person. We've been broken up with for many years now, but going through it with them was weird, because I didn't really want to tell them about the stuff, but I don't know. She was my person, so I didn't mind. I told her, so that person knows a lot about I was going through drugs, and I got into Abraham Hicks with her, and she probably just thought I was crazy, I'm pretty sure, but she was good about it. Still didn't quite get my hand on it. This is years after I first asked the question. Still listening to Bashar and Abraham day after day. Getting maybe a little bored of it. Maybe like, oh man, I don't know. Meditating. But synchronicities are keeping me going. Certain things happening. When I first got into it, I met someone at my job that was sparkly in the eyes, and he just knew. It's like he knew, and he was kind of talking to me in a way like he would say things that I was going through without actually saying them in a way. Of course, I was high, so who knows? But that things like that would happen, and like, okay, I gotta stay on this. Gotta stay just meditating and trying to figure out this create your own reality thing, because it is not fucking working for me. Because I would have had my $1,000,000 lottery ticket 2 years ago if I could fucking create my own reality. Anyway, that's my mind frame, you know. Back to meditating. Years of this shit. Finally had to let that person go, because I don't know, I was just feeling, I don't want to talk about it, but it was the right choice, because here I am now, feeling like more of myself. But then, so I was living out of the van for years here, parents helped me out here and there, but for the most part, living paycheck to paycheck, figuring this stuff out, and playing a lot of video games. And it slowly got more to playing video games and just working, coming home, sleeping, playing video games, working. Every now and then maybe I will meditate, but I knew there was something to this shit, but it's like, I gotta live life now, man. I tried for years to try to figure this shit out. And I finally got a new job at this place where I'm at now. Been there for years. Still, while I was first there, I'm still into this shit, but I was kind of on a low of really striving for trying to figure out this reality creation stuff. And then I get a crush on a girl. You know, it happens. It's been a while. I was just happy I could still get fucking crushes. I didn't think I was ever going to want another relationship for a while. Not because of my last relationship or anything. She was a sweetheart. But just because the way I fall for people, my old me, and this is my knee was about to change right at this moment, I finally learned it, was because I kept a little void in me, and I always would fall for someone and then give them my complete love that was really my love. And then if things didn't work out, it would kill me, because, you know, you separate yourself from your love, it hurts. But the universe has been trying to teach me this all throughout my little failed relationships I've had. You know, and my biggest one was like 5 years. Everything else was barely even called a relationship. No offense to anybody. But trying to teach me, you keep your power for yourself. You love yourself, literally feeling of the love that you would have when you're crushing on someone, if you're the type to fall in love at first sight, or when you've gotten to know someone a lot and you finally realize, oh, you get the ahs. I call them the ahs. You're, oh, I love this person. But, you know, you get that feeling. That's you. That's the feeling of you. You're feeling your own love, connection to source, connection to whatever you want to call it. So you do not accidentally give away that permission and say, no, that's this. That's when I look at this person. That's the only time I can feel that way, because then they have your power. Or at the best case scenario, both of you guys are doing the same thing. So as long as you have a life that you stay together and no one really does anything too crazy, it actually can work out. You guys can complete each other that way. But it's not a good way. Something happens. You get torn out. That's that dragging the fingers down a wall, just heart sunk, stepped on, just feeling, and that's just you, because you did it the wrong way. You're supposed to have that love, and then you love yourself already. And then if you have a little crush on somebody, the crush is not going to seem to hit as hard as like it used to, because you're not walking around loveless and then giving them permission. So it won't hit as much. You'll already be loving yourself, and you'll notice someone because they vibed about the same as you, and they'll be loving themselves too. Kicker. Now, if you just started loving yourself, then they'll probably just start loving themselves too. If you're off and on loving yourself, then they're probably off and on. If you hate yourself, they'll probably hate yourself too. The person you meet will be like that. If you're just getting started on your feet, they're probably just getting started on your feet. It doesn't have to be this way. You can complete each other in a puzzle piece kind of way, but either way. So, this last relationship finally not a relationship. We never even did anything. I crushed on her hard and shot my shot, which I never do, by the way, for good reason. God damn. That was only the second time I've ever did that in person. Like, to come up to a person that I had a crush on and tell them authentically. What was I thinking? No, I would do it again. That's just who I am. But still, I still get the like, ah. But twice in my life, it's really not a bad idea, guys, because if I had this pull to do it, I mean, I was crushing on her hard for no reason either. But there was a reason. Universe was like, hey, we know what he's kind of into. Get him to crush on this person. It won't end well. He'll finally learn his lesson about his fucking heart and loving himself first, and then having the love for someone else be auxiliary, be additional to your own love that you have. For it's like they have their love, you have your love, and then you have an additional auxiliary love that you guys meld together from your own platforms. That's the kicker. And so that finally taught me that, and that was been about a year ago. Almost a year ago, a little less than a year ago, that I came up to this person and, shot my shot awkwardly for about a week. No offense. I was proud of myself because I'd never do that. So even though it was heartbreaking, I was still proud of myself. My proudness kind of pushed that shit out of the way a little bit. Anyway, it taught me about I was laying in bed and I was feeling all excited at the possibility of this person actually getting to know a new person that I thought was cute and fit me perfectly. Sitting there feeling that excitement, it clicked finally. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be actually, literally, it's starting to rain here. It's been raining for a little bit, you probably can hear it, but it's finally hit me in my face. I had my little thing open a little bit. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to literally be focusing on this feeling that I'm feeling right now. Literally, like if you were to focus on your pencil while you're drawing. Literally focus on this feeling I'm feeling. So I sat in my bed, and I did it for as long as it could, and it was heavy that day. It was one of the first days that I talked to her, I think, and I thought maybe there's a chance. I was excited to share. Maybe it was the day before, and I was going to do it, and I was just excited. I can't remember. It's been too much of a blur of emotions, and so I did that, and I did it night after night while it was there, and it wouldn't be there all the time. I would go back to normalness, but did it so much that night, it was a touchstone. Any excitement or good feelings I would feel, I would focus on them, and I've been doing that for about a year now. And the past 3 months ago, I've been getting good, and I can only imagine how much it's going to change. And I can see my life changing around, the subtle things here and there, a little more subtle things here and there, things that I've noticed, things that I've always wanted to actually have, and I appreciate things more. All the feelings I've been focusing on manually are coming into my life on their own accord now. I can choose to focus on if I want or not. It doesn't even matter. They're there. The feelings that I do focus on manually are getting deeper, and I'm noticing that there's no end to the variety and the deepness you can get into a certain feeling direction. You have your favorite ones. That's why I say energy connoisseur. So this last year has kind of capped off all the other 10 or 12 or whatever years since the 27 or so years old when I was high on all that shit, wondering what did these guys have? And I'm trying to fucking practice guitar so I can make money and not have to do it 9 to 5. Live like everyone else. Always ahead of myself though. So finally capped that off. Finally falling, having a crush on this girl. Basically telling her she's beautiful. Asking her if she was single. Giving her my number. And some other awkward things, but then finally I had to just stop because she's either stringing me along or she was just undecided or she was somewhere in her life where it's just too much. Something, I don't know. Maybe I do know, but I'm not going to say. It doesn't matter anyway, it's been like a year. So I'm like a completely different person almost. Thanks to meeting this person, but if it wasn't this person, it would have been the next one. It would have been something. The universe been like, okay, this is what we got to do to get him to finally figured this out. He's been by himself hermiting for years now. He's cleared his belief systems. He's ready to finally figure this shit out. And I did. And here I am. More passion and inspiration to do my music than ever before. While I was at a lull before. I know if you scroll down the past year, you can probably see where the lull was, where the space in videos were like months and months where I make a video. I wasn't practicing anymore. I don't practice now, actually, but I play so much that I don't need to practice, You know what I mean? I'm just playing all the time. the inspiration stuck. It's just there. I have a passion, and I'm seeing the progress, and I feel like I'm on an ever rising fucking thing that is not going to slow down. It's like it can't slow down. We had too much momentum on it, focus on it. So that is my last so many years in a nutshell. In a very, very nutshell, guys. I mean, that's like barely cut. I mean, I could probably write a book just on the apartment days. Oh God, I was a different person. I was just so naive and easily swayed by the friends I was hanging out with. Not easily, but eventually I saw myself turn into a different kind of person. But I'm like a cork, baby. It couldn't keep me down. Some of my friends moved away, or I cut some of them off, and then I just rose right back up to the person I was always supposed to be, easy peasy. And that's not to say it was all their fault. It takes two to tango. It was obviously my fault too. Some of the life I was living. So much drinking. I look back at all the drinking I was doing. Oh my God. And riding my motorcycle around town. Not giving a shit. Not giving a shit. Who knows how many times I died? Oh man. Oh, let's not look back at these days with like nostalgia, because really, I like where I'm at now. Stepping stone, and then where I'm at now. Oh my God. So, I don't know where this video started at, but it ended up me explaining my catalyst into the capping off of my spiritual journey. Not capping off, it's not done, but like this last year really, it's like, I did as much growth in the last year as I did in the last 13 years when I started. I was looking at my YouTube subscribers, and I think when I met this girl at this job recently, a year or so ago, and then got really heavy on making music. Some of it, almost at the very beginning, when I was crushing on, most of it was about her, or at least I was happy. So it was just passionate music, not necessarily about her, but some of it was. I got trailed off though. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, my subscribers, I was thinking I was like at 30 or something like that, or 40. And I was like, it took me almost pretty much a year or a little less to get to 100. And I didn't think I was going to get there. And now I'm at 137. So it took me a year to get to 100 or so, a little less. And the rest, a little bit of that year, a month or two, or even less than that, actually, to get to 137. So it's the same kind of thing, that exponential growth. And I just see it getting faster and faster. And more than one aspect of my life. So I'm just excited to see where it's going, and I think I'm supposed to be teaching by example. Supposedly I'm supposed to be teaching this shit to other people, and how it's gonna work is, if you just happen to resonate with it, you're gonna come across my video, and then it's something that I say is gonna help you, even if it's something I didn't mean to help you with. So that's what I'm doing. I think that is it for this one. This is a very long one, 23 minutes. And no weed this time. I just got out of the shower, just took some sexy pics. I was feeling and loving myself. I'm trying not to feel shame for loving myself or taking pictures, because I think I look fucking good. And I don't mind showing myself off, not in a cocky way, because I just literally think I look good. I want to show it off. It's like, hey, look at this. Same look showing like when you're a little kid, you got a little toy dinosaur and you just want to show people. Like, look at this cool shit. No one's like, don't show off your fucking dinosaur. Well, he might not have a dinosaur. Why are you showing off your... No one does that to you. It's the same thing. But it's, you get... I don't know, you get your mind ruined by society. It's all for a purpose, to get you to blossom out of it. So, let me end this shit, because my mouth is dry as shit, and I need to get some water.